All right, guys, welcome back to Cold Pizza Watch Reviews. I'm finally getting around to unboxing my Citizen Automatic ProMaster Diver that I got from Jomashop over the holidays when they were having that big blowout sale. I also got a Jubilee bracelet from Long Island Watches that's supposed to be an exact fit for the Citizen NY0040 line. So I'm going to put this all together and we're going to see how it fits. So hold tight. This is the first review I've ever done, and I've done a lot of them, where I can honestly say if you're watching this, you're probably going to go buy this watch and this bracelet. And I paid full price. I didn't get any deals other than the sale at Jomashop. And Long Island, I paid full price for this bracelet. They don't know me from anybody. But when I mated these two up, they look perfect. And I'm going to get into that in a minute. But let me cover the specs of the watch just in case you're new to the NY0040 series. So to start off, Citizen came out with NY0040 back in 97. Seiko came out with SKX 007 back in 96. This is pretty much the equivalent. Now, Citizen didn't put this on a Jubilee bracelet. They put on a rubber strap, and then they had their semi-oyster bracelet that it came on. Seiko, the SKX, always came on the Jubilee. Now, right before I get into these specs, one comment. The reason I think the SKX did so well is because of the Jubilee bracelet. I think that's what set that watch off, because honestly, there's no other reason. There's no other reason the Citizen should not have done as well as the SKX, except I think Citizen screwed up on the bracelet choice. You look at this. Anyway, let's get into these specs, and we're going to go over some more pictures of this thing. You got a case diameter of 42 millimeter. Now, when I measure, I come in slightly under 42 millimeter, so it does wear a little bit smaller. Now, lug to lug is 48 millimeter. You've got a case thickness right around 12.8. Now, one other thing about the wearability of the watch and why it does wear smaller, if you look at just the face diameter, I get right around 30.2 millimeter. Now, look at the face diameter of my 36 millimeter Rolex Oyster Perpetual. You'd think, oh, that's a small watch. It's got the same face diameter. So when you're looking at, a watch to wear, especially if you've got like small, skinny wrist, a smaller face kind of draws it in on your wrist and you can typically pull it off. 6 1/4 inch wrist, and here I am wearing a 42 millimeter watch and it works. Now the SKX were a little bit too large for me and I sold both of mine, but the Citizen works. All right. Moving on to some more of these specs. This is a true ISO certified diver. It was used for 10 years by the Italian Navy. You've got a 60-click unidirectional bezel. You've got the movement inside of this one that I just got is the Miyota 8204A. Now, some of them will come with the 8203, which does not hack. Both of the movements hand wind, but the 03 does not hack. Now, sometimes on the dial, you're going to see 8203. And then on the back, you'll see 8204. You need to pay attention to the numbers on the back of the watch. The 8204 is the hackable movement. It's kind of a toss-up because a lot of the specs that you'll see from retailers online will not say which one you're getting, or they won't say if it's a hacking movement. So I didn't know what I was getting from this one that I just got from Jomashop, considering that it's a original NY0040-09 black dial, black bezel. I thought I might not be getting a hacking movement, but when I flipped it over, took the case back off and pulled that stem out and saw that it was hacking. So more than likely, the ones that you get from here on out are probably going to be hacking movements, but two of mine don't. So I'm not going to guarantee you do get a hacking movement. But the 8204 is a 21 joule movement. It's got a 42-hour power reserve, and it beats at 21,600 beats per hour. Now, probably the only advantage, and I don't even really want to say it's an advantage, was that the Seiko, the rotor would wind the movement in either direction that the rotor spun. The Citizen only winds in one direction, but with a Seiko, you couldn't hand wind it anyway. With the Citizen, you can hand wind it, so I really see no advantage there. I think the Citizen kills Seiko on every angle on the movement. The shock system is a parashock shock system. So that's the specs on the watch. Moving on, let me get into this bracelet. Now, this bracelet has solid end links and it tapers from 20 millimeters to right around 15 and a half. And that's important to me because, again, I've got little skinny wrist, and this is more of how a Jubilee bracelet should wear versus the mill tap bracelets I had did not taper down. So this fits me even better. The other thing that I like about this is that linkage here versus on a SKX, this was stamped. Now, I mean, I can't complain about this thing other than I wish that this clasp right here was milled, but I'm just nitpicking. I mean, this to be a aftermarket bracelet looks like it was made by Citizen for this watch. I'm telling you. I mean, the brushing, he even got the brushing down. I mean, I thought there was going to be a bigger color difference in the brushed bracelet from Long Island to the Citizen brushing, but you can't even tell. If you saw this in a jewelry store, you would think Citizen made this bracelet for this watch. To me, that's the only thing that had the Seiko over the Citizen was that it had a Jubilee bracelet, which was clanky anyway. I'm telling you, you look at this, you look at these images of this watch. Now, there are some other companies like on AliExpress and some other cheap websites that claim that they have a bracelet that will fit this, but it's hollow end link junk. But when someone does something right, I'm going to talk about it and I'm going to promote it. And I hope he sells out of these because this is a good thing. Look how well that mates up to the case. You're going to love this thing. This bezel is a little bit tighter than my other ones. I'm impressed. It still has a little bit of a flex, which they all do have that. Have a little bit of a bounce. And I talk about that in my other videos. That's part of the ISO certification. You can look at that these bezels have to work once the watch is dried out. For $220, you can put this together. I tell you what, Long Island's going to sell out of these. I can guarantee it. I love it. Put your comments below. Is this now definitely, without a doubt, the SKX killer? Citizen, just do this. Put this bracelet on. Put it out there for sale. You'll make a bunch of money. It's that easy. Let me know what you think in the comments below, guys. As always, I appreciate you tuning in to Cold Pizza Watch Reviews.